Welcome to episode 10 of the Aluminium Podcast, Apple News with a British accent, where every week I'll be joined by a different guest from the world of tech and beyond, bringing you the latest Apple and wider technology news, as well as an insight into our guests and their stories in technology. And for our 10th episode, I am delighted to be joined by Marc Sequence. Welcome, buddy.
Hey,
and
yeah.
you're right there in Vision Pro. This is incredible.
My hands are gone.
You blew your own hands away.
Yeah. This podcast is worth getting blown away for. I'm discombobulated. This is absolute pleasure, homage, privilege.
Head just
Exciting.
floating in the ether. I love it. I seem to remember, like, the first day when Vision Pro, obviously, for anyone that's not watching the video, if you're just listening to the audio, this will make no sense at all. We are using Marc's, what are they called? Personas, right?
Yes. With a capital P.
Exactly. We're using your persona. When you went to get your Vision Pro, were you not wearing the WWDC t-shirts that we put out a few years ago?
Yes,
I
I
did. There were some
did.
pictures. Yeah.
How the hell? This guy. Yes, absolutely. One of my favorite all-time designs. One of the first things that I was like, oh, look at all these, look at all these guys. Oh, they're buying YouTube merch. Oh, what the heck, YouTubers? This, and then fast forward, and I was like, ah, son of a bee. This guy did it. Your design painstakingly by hand, and then the water bottle, and I still have it, and also my favorite cup ever was a double wall insulated pint glass
amazing.
With all your fans in it. Oh.
Yeah, because that was the thing. When we made that T-shirt design, which I'll try and throw up on the screen. I'm sure I've got it somewhere. I've got my T-shirt over there. But yeah, we basically got everyone to send them emojis, didn't we? So it had got, like, I don't know, it felt like a lot, maybe 80, 90 different emojis on there from different members of the audience.
I didn't expect that many. Yeah. And all different
awesome.
poses, the customization and everything. And even I've quizzed people before, because I'll tell them, like, I'm in here. I'm on the logo. See if you can find me. And some people, not really, but more times they're like, that's you right there, that guy with the hair. I was like, yep.
No, it was awesome. I think we might have to do that again this year. We should be hopefully getting our WWDC invites pretty soon. That might be the time to get that ready.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that we touched on the. It holds a special place in my heart, and we don't need to talk about what we didn't get that dub. You already forgot.
Oh, that was the year that we were expecting. So it was 21, wasn't it? That's when we were expecting to get the MacBook Pros.
Yeah, and the a certain squarish something.
What were we? Which one?
I don't want to talk ill about our other mutual podcast, YouTube Tech Genius Bar.
Which one was it? Oh, the Square Watches.
Oh, he said it.
But that was going to be later in the year, wasn't it? That was going to be in September. But then Apple Watch Series 7 just got delayed, and it was a little bit bigger. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, definitely didn't happen.
No,
but
it was great.
I think
exciting.
Sam's got a video coming out soon. They've got some renders of the Apple Watch 10. Which I don't think's come out yet. But he was saying he's been working with Shay on some stuff. I don't know how it looks yet, but
that guy's
John
talented.
was excited.
But
anyway, we have skipped ahead, my friend. At the beginning of the podcast, every time we have to do the getting to know you questions, and they're either or questions, and you can go in your own direction if you want. So the first one is Xbox or PlayStation, but if you're, I don't know, a DS gamer or something, go for it.
I think we have talked about this before, but just to answer the question, PlayStation. So for sure, that was my. I think I got it if I promised to get good grades. PS2, I think, was the one that I grabbed. But my first console ever, I believe, even before that, Nintendo 64. We had a couple of them. Still have them. A couple of them. Remember that one?
Way before you. Like I was like Sega Master System.
One of my cousins had them, and he didn't want to play outside anymore. And I was like, "Why?" And then I was like, I see what you're doing." They had a Sega.
That was like the Sega's version of the NES, wasn't it?
Sega. The game Sonic, right? Was that one of their? Oh man, that one.
Alex Kidd was built in.
Remind me, which one's that one? Was that the fighter game?
No, Alex Kidd was like a very, very kind of Mario style. There was a version you could get with, I think, Streets of Rage or something like that built in as well.
Was that a scroller or top down?
Yeah, like a side-scrolling fighter.
Side scroll. Okay.
You know, kind of like the early like Turtles games, that kind of feel.
From the parallel for my cousin having that one, we had my older siblings. They had Super Nintendo, so for sure. So Mario World, and then that Duck Hunt went. Bam, bam.
Oh yeah, with the light guns.
The gray, light gray, and then orange gun. That was great. And then so we've had a couple of those. We had an N64 inside of a van that we pimped out for our annual Mexico trip. So we would do that. We had a VCR in there, and they gave us a choice. We can do Nintendo 64 or PlayStation 1. And so we were like, well, we have an N64 at the house, so we were already ready to, we wouldn't need to bring it. It would already be there. We have all the games and the Trident controller with the 1, 2, 3. If you remember that one, the triple. We only have two hands.
The N64, yeah.
The trip, very weird, but we had that one, and then PlayStation 2. My cousins went Xbox, so then one of the times when I switched over, I was like, hey, guess what? I got an Xbox One S, whichever one it was, and he was like, yeah, I just got a PS5. I was like, this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I believe the most recent update is I got rid of it for this thing, and I have not missed it. Oh, man. Like,
So I
didn't want to get... Yeah, go ahead.
You're not console gaming right now.
I'm just even like, this is trippy. Look at me. What the?
Yeah.
Imagine.
You live right there now.
The Lego game. I've heard other people mention that one. That one, I just beat it. There's a little Lego builder's journey in it. And even if you look close. Yeah, and it looks like it looks like it's really in your space. That's not hyperbole. And even the detail, it looks like it was like previously owned Legos. Like they're scuffs and scratch. They're not perfect. So they even got like smudges and it's detail. So much detail. It's incredible.
Oh, that's awesome. So the next question would be Windows or Mac, but I think you're basically now full-time Vision, right?
Yes. Yeah. I guess next question. You got this. What kind of interview is this? This is pretty one-sided.
I've got the answers already. Yeah. But how
I
are you
did
finding
have
it for like day to day?
mid 2012. You remember my original Intel powered base model? I think 1000. What was it? 1749 from Best Buy. I got it for college. I ended up DJing with it. Got my basically DJ career there. I embarrassed myself because I didn't even think to upgrade the RAM because I basically spent the entire budget on the laptop and then the DJ software plus the subscription to get a license to stream music. But it had two gigabytes of RAM when it was able to accept 2 8 gigabyte slots. So I was running that thing, sadly, outside during spring and summer, Silicon Valley DJing. I was like, oots, right, and skipping, shutting down. But people were actually pretty forgiving because I'd be like, you're never supposed to cut the music, right? And like, oh, boop. And I was like, laptop, sorry, some technology, right? And when I, years later after, I was like, I could have had literally 4 times the RAM on this thing. And then, oh, man.
Cool. But yeah, so right now you got rid of your Macs, right? So that you could get Vision.
Yeah. So thanks for reminding me. I had to print something out yesterday, day before. So I got the desk. I was asking you guys in our Tech Lads chat private. Wow, I'm blanking out. What's it called?
Group?
WhatsApp? Yeah. Dual in Vision Pro. It's called Dual. But my first time on WhatsApp. It's okay. Still learning it. Pretty trippy. That and in Vision, but when I was asking for like how do I do Mac OS High Sierra, I think it was on, so that I'm using like more than a decade old Mac, but yes, I did have the M1X. I still call it. I named it that Marc's M1X MacBook Pro, the 3264. I think I only did one terabyte to save some of that exorbitant taxes on the memory, but I grabbed that one and the 2024th gen 13-inch iPad Pro. Also, swap those two plus some dinero on top to get this bad boy, and so far so good, really good. I have not paired up my Magic Mouse or Magic Keyboard to it. I wanted to do the full hands, voice, eyes, all that, and I am getting better and better at the typing. Everything, the weight disappears. I think we talked about this on a TA Tech's podcast, but loving it. I'm living in it.
Amazing. And I've got to say, the personas have got so much better.
Yeah, and there's another update. We were just talking about this. Finally, 1.1.1. I tried to get it before this, but this was last minute. Again, thanks for having me.
And then the next one, I think this is probably quite an easy one for you, but Android or iOS?
Well, VisionOS. Now that
Yeah.
that was my big reveal for audio listeners. What? Anyways, yeah. No, it's awesome. It's great. I think this is for as much forgive me, crap that we give to iPad and its operating system. If as far back as we know, this has been in development for a decade, maybe longer, and the entire time, the groundwork. This is what the end goal was, and to reference the only Vision Pro video you'll ever need from our friends at Front Page Tech, the so real, so convincingly in your space, you could walk up and touch it, and it's all that's real. I think one of the quotes that I mentioned to you where they were saying a source was saying indistinguishable from reality, meaning if you were to put a Pro Display XDR or anything, any iPad, TV, monitor, anything in your space, and you put in Vision Pro a screen next to it or above it, below, whatever, that's indistinguishable from reality. It's just as good as, if not better than, a monitor in my space, and it's weightless. I can move it around, drag it, resize it, throw it across the room. Incredible.
Yeah, no, I still haven't had a chance to try it yet because my good friend Sigmund went and had a heart attack when I was supposed to be going to see him, and apparently that's more important that he gets better. But it's really thrown off my schedule.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
get well soon, Sigmund, and all of that stuff. But I mean, it's kind of annoying.
No, how dare he? That's what I was saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, are you okay, Dave? Are you?
Well,
you were looking forward to it.
I'm trying to cope. But yeah,
I know how excited you were. You dropped some hints. How many people you were telling? Who did you have? You were saying, "I'm gonna get my hands on it before you. I'm gonna get my hands on it." Before
yeah, Michael, and he's had it already now because his neighbor got one.
Yeah. Apparently, he lives next to some kind of oligarch. I don't know what's going on. This guy.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
Unless he lives next door to Sigmund, and he just hasn't told me. Maybe that's it. Tea or coffee?
Oh, both. Okay. So sweet tea, and as long as it's cold, usually I don't like any I don't really go hot for any kind of drinks. Even I know pushing it is hot cocoa, but I don't want to burn myself. I want to actually taste it and enjoy it. So a little in the lukewarm-ish, but still with a kick. But coffee, recently been doing a lot of the coffee. Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice and cold. Hazelnut, whole milk, half milk. There's, don't get me started on Starbucks. I'm trying to be good. I need to pay this off. Even though it's paid for, but you know what I mean? Yeah.
Justify it. Yeah, but surely you could drink any coffee as long as it tastes okay. And overlay the Starbucks cup, and then you'll feel fancy anyway. I
do. You can't. Well, I can't show you, but I have one of those. I think it's like a grande. It's the see-through double wall insulated plastic Starbucks, actual Starbucks one where you can kind of. I don't ask them to make me drinks in it, and that's a little strange. You bring a dish to them, but it's kind of the same deal. I'll shake up a little. I don't know. I think it's a 12 ounce. I don't know what that is in Starbucks lingo. They like to trick us with language and languagers.
I can visualize 12 ounce, and I would say that's probably medium for them.
Venti's 20. Grande, don't let them hear you say that.
So that's not because tall is small.
Grande?
Yeah. I think
you guys have Starbucks over there?
Yeah, we do.
You sure?
Although we have more.
Here it is. I knew it. Watch. There. One more. What was that?
We have more Costa coffee. Costa is the bigger one here, which is now owned by Coca-Cola, I think. You will have heard of it soon.
Coca-Cola. Not Coca-Cola. This guy.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Actually, no. You say however you want. You guys apparently have medical language.
We did.
Coca-Cola after you have a nice, refreshing sip. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Black coffee. The thing about one thing you do get with hot coffee that you don't get with iced coffee or anything is just that aroma, that roast. When you can just it has the come here, right? It goes right in fills a room, and you're just okay, maybe what is that? I want some of that. Plus bacon, eggs, and oh man.
No, I'm like an espresso guy. So I like an espresso, you get the really good flavor and the smell, but it cools down quickly enough that you can actually drink it within the day. Because I always find if you order a black coffee anywhere, they just go espresso and boiling water, so you can't drink it for at least an hour. And that's really annoying, because when you have a latte or something, you only want to get that milk up to like 60 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit with your weird witchcraft.
More, just add freedom to it.
Yeah, 60 plus freedom Yeah, but you don't want it to burn your face off, basically. You don't want to burn the milk. You want to just, like, warm it. So, yeah.
Taste it, experience it, yeah.
Yeah. It's basically, when you put your hand on it, you go, ooh, like that. That's when it's ready. But not actually your skin falling off. That's what you're looking for, I think, with the milk.
If you add espresso, I think again, to Starbucks, that's what I know. I think if you add a shot, they do, like, a blonde. But if you ask for espresso on the side, they use a different one or something.
A different blend,
They have more than one espresso, yeah. And I always forget about espresso when the coffee tea question comes up. So here, again, another ambush on the, what is this? iCaveDave Mickey Mouse podcast over here. Excuse me. Aluminium. Aluminium. Oh, you know what I was practicing also? I told my dad about this. I was like, remember this guy? He asked me to do a thing for him again today. So I was like, okay. Aluminium podcast, Apple News with a British accent. And I think...
Oh, that's lovely.
What was your old? I'm iCaveDave, and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. And if you want Apple's news leaks and rumors every weekday at 12 UTC, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring my bell.
Yeah, that's the one. Beautiful.
You haven't done it in a while.
No, you know what? I actually used to have it written by hand on my blind that I'd pull down when I was recording for the first, I don't know.
Yeah,
30 times that but you know, it's like you got used to it really quickly. When I did the stand-up comedy thing, and they were like, "Oh, mic technique, I just want you to say something that you know off the top of your head really well. It could be a poem, it could be the lyrics to a song." And I walked up and I went, "My name's iCaveDave, and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. And if you want the latest Apple news, leaks, and rumors every weekday at 12 UTC, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring my bell."
Do you remember the one that you did? And ring my bell, ring my bell.
And now we've been demonetized. So that was good.
No.
Warner Music will be taking all of our money from now on.
We're still covered. That's fair use. It's a fair interpolation. So. Yeah, we're fine. You're outside of the U.S. Don't worry about it. You're overseas.
Yeah. That just means that they get to sue me in a different way.
It just takes longer. Don't worry. The longer they take to pass laws, the more freedom we have. Oh, you might be worth going after now. Actually, you're blowing up. I'm proud of you.
Well, I mean, we've got to talk about people being sued very soon.
Oh no.
Mainly Apple by your own government, which is, I mean, that seems a bit self-sabotage, but we're going to come to that.
Yeah,
we do have one more question.
It hurts so good
for the either-ors. Oh yeah. God, listening to them was painful.
If I'm going to hurt this much,
might as well be YouTube or podcast.
Oh, damn. You know what? Wow.
This is always the one that gets people.
Yeah. You mean YouTube and everything that comes with it, or non-podcast YouTubing? Because you're not talking about like a podcast app.
I would say not podcasts, but just like sticking the phone in your pocket and listening to the podcast. Like if it's YouTube, you're engaging with it as a video.
Yeah.
If it's podcast, it's the long form version. And I had to say this for Sam as well, because Sam Cole was our last guest. I had to say, like, if you go with podcast, you can't go, well, it's fine though, because I've got TikTok for my video stuff. It's like, no. It's like basically video or audio.
So he was also an American. Sounds like he's like, well, what if I this and loophole and try to weasel away? But we're not. So no, he didn't get away with that. He didn't get away with that. So I shouldn't. I'm not going to try it. Okay, no. There's no getting around this guy. This guy's superior.
Absolutely not.
Put a crown on him. Why won't we? Podcasts. I think long. Yeah. Also, shout out to you for doing that. I need to watch that again. I need to watch Hamilton again in here. Because amazing. I had no idea what it was going to be. I just kept hearing about it. Hamilton, you know, and then, wow. Lin-Miranda.
Show.
Oh my God, those guys are incredibly talented.
I've seen it live as well.
That's Broadway? I like Broadway now. I would have never thought, but yeah, podcast, long form, for the simple fact that it can be engaging without needing to suck you in negatively in a bad way, so that you can get stuff done or not, depending on how good the subject matter, the content. I need to broaden my horizons. Nothing wrong with the Aluminium podcast or the Genius Bar, which used to be the Idiot Bar. Wave it if you remember those. I don't think they do that anymore.
Yeah, they still do that sometimes at the end. When they've run out of sponsors, then it becomes Idiot Bar.
Just listen to yourself, man. Just you'll get to the 5 stages eventually. Don't worry, I'll be here. I'll be here for you.
Hey, I'm still waiting for my call up so that I can go and join the Genius Bar. Go and join those guys. I've had them both on here now. It's my turn.
That is interesting. That is very interesting. This is true. I mean, we'll see. You want me to go talk to him? I'll talk to him.
Yeah, just toss it into conversation next time you're chatting.
Yeah, a nice, well-timed GIF. Let's say Cortex podcast. Have you heard of them? I think one of them is from. Ooh. Cortex guys. Did you mention one of them? One of them is an American, but he lives over there, and I believe in the UK now.
Okay, I don't know the podcast, but I might know the people on it.
It's what's his name? His other channel. It's the guy that does the stick figure animations. The kind of condenses stuff down, explaining flag. He rates flags. That's one of his big one.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll have to have a look. I'll have to see.
Is it Mr. Gray, the guy with a stick figure with glasses? CPG Gray or CGP Gray? I forget which order the P and the G go. Forgive me. Yeah, no, that's a good one. And then I believe also there's a new one, at Uncoverage. Fairly small. I believe it started with the pre-order. You've heard that one? It started with the pre-order of Vision Pro, actually, which is how I found them. And I love that style. Oh, cool. Medium to longer form content. I believe he's a professor as well. So cool. He's one of the he's like when you would think like, oh, when you ask someone, have you ever had a fun teacher or a cool teacher, a cool prof? That would be the kind of guy that would make it fun, whatever it is.
Okay.
That teaching style and just the gravitas of basically, I would look forward to those lectures.
Nice.
Very
I'll
good
check
stuff.
these out. So Cortex is CGP Grey and Mike Hurley.
Mm-hmm. I think he also Mr. Gray has a second one. I don't know when one of the oldest episodes I think was when Vision Pro came out. In addition to that's how I found them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, one of them got to try it.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple more. Why I mentioned Uncoverage is he'll show little snippets, and in addition to, I guess other points of, again, here we go. Front Page Tech, excellent work that they do over there. In some of their videos, they'll show footage or audio from Apple executives, including, Steve Jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are, he'll do where he's just making his coffee while we're watching the B-roll, and then there's like a snippet. He has a piece. I got to look it up, but he references a couple of other interesting tech and kind of philosophical, what not just tech, but what this tech means. What does it mean for us? Bigger picture. Let's zoom out. Let's think about this a little bit. That kind of stuff. So, because of that, for sure, podcast would be your answer. There it is.
Nice.
We're on one too.
I'm keeping all of these in some little in some little tabs on my browser so that I can check them all out once we've done this. Just for clarity, we're recording on Thursday night. This is going to be out at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So we're recording this yesterday. If you're listening to it now,
how weird!
Time is such a weird concept.
Well, we made it up. It's fake.
100%. It's a river that we course down in just the one direction, but at different speeds depending on how quickly we're moving physically too. It
comes to us. I mean, you can only ever be in the present, right? They say you can look backwards and look
for
forward.
Now,
we're still, yeah.
Time machine. You can save your memories now, which is good.
Yeah. Oh man, and at the not to get too deep, but that is interesting. One of my favorite Jedi quotes, Qui-Gon Jinn, Episode 1. He's like, but Master Yoda always said to be mindful of the future. Yes, but not at the expense of the present. Boom. It's like I don't want to miss this moment, but I also don't want it to be gone.
That's some quality wisdom right there. So that was Episode 1. So that was the one that came out
Star Wars
in
Episode 1.
90s?
Liam Neeson. I believe it was. It might have been 2000. Was it?
I'm sure it was very late 90s.
99?
Like 98, 99. because I was working.
It's so close. I want to say on this side. I want to say it's on this side of 2000. Okay, I know Matrix was 99. Matrix was 99, and what a masterpiece. Phantom Menace 2000.
It could have been 2000.
I want to say 2001. Uh-oh. People are yelling at us. Star Wars 1, Episode 1, 2000.
Let's see. Release date.
Come on.
May 16, 1999.
Damn!
The only reason I had this in my head is
because you're from the 1900s.
When I went away to like college, university over here, and I was dressed, I think, as Darth Maul, but at my old work.
Oh yeah,
because I worked behind the like record and DVD counter in a store.
What was was it a chain? Was it a chain?
Yeah, it was called Woolworths, but it went out of business about 3 years later in the UK.
Did they have a U.S. presence at all, or sister company? Because I think over here was Blockbuster Video, Hollywood Video, and then
this was like a general store, I guess. They had like toys and home goods, like
everything.
Hardware, and it was like a mini Walmart, but it was
almost
street.
Like what about like a what I pictured was like a GameStop, but for movies. Like it would be, you can get posters, you could get
they
figurines.
did have all of that stuff, but they also had like candy, and they had but like pick and mix candy. So like you fill your own bag with the bits that you.
Oh yeah, so a movie going experience in a store.
Kinda.
Yeah.
So that's where I worked, and that was also where I was kind of in charge of Pokemon cards at one point because nobody else cared enough.
Oh man, no, remind me. Mine got destroyed when we were moving into this house we're in now. Yeah, we moved from a bigger house to a larger plot of land house, but the house itself was smaller. So a lot of our stuff stayed in boxes for a bit. And one of the times, one of the cardboard boxes, you believe cardboard? Like you shouldn't get it wet? I didn't. No one told me. But my Pokemon card, a majority of it was moldy, destroyed, disintegrated, and I had, I believe, just about all of the original. Quote, how many were the... Here, I know the answer. How many were the original Pokemon? You should know.
Like
this.
151 or something.
150. Oh, was it? It's 150 plus, I think, Mewtwo or one. Okay. They added the 150. Yeah, okay. That... I don't know.
I was never huge into Pokemon. Like, I got into looking after the Pokemon cards at work because I'd done the Star Trek CCG that had come out before.
I got you.
So I had a vague idea of what a CCG was. I mean, this is way after like Magic
I don't know what
Gathering
that is
and stuff.
So I'll forgive you for
customizable
it.
card game.
So is it like, I think Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, like Magic the Gathering.
Strategy.
Dungeons and Dragons is all like tabletop or even without a tabletop. You know,
you're the one from the 1900s. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in like 81. Like I'm
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm
91. I don't know if I think
I'm beginning to crumble.
Yeah. No, yeah, 90. Oh, come on, man. So do cookies. We still love them.
That's true.
It is very true.
That is how they crumble.
I heard your advice also for Mr. Prosser, John Prosser, about blankets. That we get more blankets. I still have my. That's the one thing I forgot.
Oh yes.
Your advice of her, like, because him and I, we just recently hit 30 or recently accepted it or anyway, and you were like, well, 40, right? So you're just like,
yeah, that's
tips?
when you need to wear a blanket on your knees.
That's a good, just for the sort of like, oh, are you cold? No, just I wanted some cushion, but how do you?
It's just comfortable.
It is comfortable, and also for if you have a lap dog, our family dog here, miniature poodle, Frida, so for now, her body heat is sometimes too much, which means I don't need blankets quite yet. But that's the one thing that I remember I did bring it, but I forgot it in my Tesla when I went to the in-person Genius Bar Goes Dark. And it was hot. I was rushing. It was a little late. I was so excited. I was nervous. I was like, in my own head at the time. And I was like, I brought the Genius Bomber, but I totally forgot to and I wasn't the only one with the Genius Bomber. And I was like, I bet I would have been the only one with the blanket. Excuse me, Genius Cloth. The Genius Cloth.
I've got the Genius Cloth. I do have that. The original.
Excellent.
The first one that came out. It's kind of silver, isn't it? It's very,
the
very
white,
soft.
Is that the one that has the 100 because they did it for their 100th episode on the corner of it, right? It's white with light gray.
Yeah, it's white with light grey. I don't know if that was the one with 100 on it. I feel like that might have been Genius Cloth 2.
Which was the SE Summer Edition, which was
the towel.
The towel.
Yeah.
Okay, no, so the white one. I did the white one.
Yeah, I have the first one too.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the next merch drop. What the hell? You had them both on there,
it's been a while, right?
They haven't told you?
No.
They're the truth, actually. Shout out to seriously, love those guys.
Oh yeah, it's like as soon as that pops up in my feed, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna be starting work late today.
I know. What gives? They keep us guessing. They keep us on our toes. But what did we? I mean, we're always there regardless. So
yeah.
It's always fun.
We'll always be there. But yeah, it is fun. And the one, especially when they have other people, like this week's had a little bit of a different vibe because they weren't allowed to swear. Mm-hmm. There was no cursing allowed because they were at LG's place.
Man, at the very beginning of the episode, I was under the same impression that that John was, where it was like they were playing around or a joke or haha, or that they were cool with it, like not permission to be grotesque or ill mannered, but for like, hey, you know what, feel what you feel when you feel it. Say it's expression, it's all one slips up, but just I don't know. I don't like censorship. I don't believe in censorship. Again, not an excuse to say whatever you want. You're free to say what you want. You aren't free from consequences, and I'm pretty sure that's anywhere. But for them, it hit me. I was like, oh damn! I was about to, and I was in the middle of it. I'm like, oh, shout out to LG, love them. My first and only Android phone actually was an LG Optimus S from Sprint.
Okay,
and I loved it. $50. The battery eventually swelled up on me from. I got it at Sprint. I went in to get a new one, and I was like, oh, it's going to be another $50. So it was going to cost me $50 twice. I paid $50 for it. Battery swelled up. Basically, get a replacement for $50. And the guy was like, "Hey, what about iPhone?" And I was like, "Oh no, come on, you're trying to get more money at him." He's like, "No, iPhone. The next ones are going to come out, and then with the 2-year, just renew your. This is when they were still pushing that. Just sign again, renew your contract, because what good is a cell phone without cell service?" And I got a white iPhone. Refresh my memory. Was the 4? Did the 4 come in black and white, or only black?
So the 4 came out in black, and then white came out partway through. But then the 4S came in both.
I don't Okay, I don't recall. I know, shame on me. I don't know if it was a 4 or 4S, but my very first iPhone was a white 4 that it cost me exactly that $50 plus renewing my contract because I have to have service, and fell in love, man. I was like,
did it have Siri?
My God. I think so. So was this before the 5 was going to come out? I don't know why it was.
If it had Siri, it was the 5S.
And then it was 8 gigs, I think, something.
Sorry, the 4S.
Base model, basically $50 with 2-year contract renewal. LG Optimus S, my one and only. I liked it. And then I think I had actually the iPod Touch before, so I was already, I was ready. I was like, this is amazing. My brain loves this. Just the swipe to unlock plus the audio.
Yep. 100%. Like my first iPhone
so
was a
satisfying.
4. My first iPhone was a 4. My second.
We're the same, you and I.
I know.
Yeah.
My second Apple device is actually here, and it's my iPod, which I bought while I was in Dubai. And it's
your hands came out towards me. Remember, I'm still in spatial. That's your I think you gave it a name. What was it? The prototype something? The original Apple Watch before Apple Watch.
Yeah. It's the Apple Watch. The iPod Nano. 6th gen.
I saw people went for arm, like for jogging and activity, or they would put it on their bike, and then let me see if the camera gets a good look at that. Yep, dude, nostalgia just from the.
Not bad.
Oh man, and looks still so smooth.
Yeah,
those were the icons. Do you remember when YouTube was a TV?
Yes. But that was when it was like a third-party version of YouTube that Apple had made for them, wasn't it? I think. But really fun.
And then the camera was a camera, which I think Instagram tried to do that. They tried to make it look retro, and that didn't last. They went back to the pink. Yeah,
it was like the brown.
Purple. Yeah, with the little rainbow. It was a Polaroid on top, like the 3 rainbow RGB, or what is it? Teal, cyan, magenta, yellow. And I didn't even look at my own little self. Can you see that am I too far? Can you see the Genius bomber orange. Are you able to see it? Is that coming through?
Quite.
There's the gold zipper.
I don't think.
I think I know
you
why.
wearing it? Were you wearing that when you set up the persona?
Yeah. Yep. I think it's because of this.
I can kind of see the orange.
I think it's because it's the desk. I think the desk is like kind of that same beige color. What if I get up? Nope. Whoop, that's worse.
No, it's not going to play.
Yeah. Oh man, good times.
But, yeah, absolutely. So when you went to that Genius Bar Goes Dark, like what was the vibe like? Because that's something that I would love to go out to in future.
Man, if they do something similar again, I will for sure be at least on time, if not early. And I even grabbed one of the VIP tickets, and I don't know. It was, I mean, you topple. For those of you who don't know, there was kind of a global, worldwide, started with the letter P. Shutdowns ensued everywhere, and some people either never had these sort of social related concerns or thoughts of gathering socially. Either they never thought about it before or never had to think about it. Maybe it's something we already, I never noticed. Maybe I should avoid this, that, or the other thing. Fast forward, and then this event, and I was like, oh damn, I need to go. I need to do what I have to go. I need to make sure I get either the day off or and then it's, so it was kind of like, that whole week, in addition to the excitement, everything from the leaks and rumors, and then it's WWDC, everyone, from around the world converging on this one spot for what, I don't know, could it be a lot of moving parts? It was awesome. I loved it. I wish I would have gone early. I wish I would have been able to get out of my head sooner. Like, dude, just get in, just go for it. Because even from where I am, which is Silicon Valley, the capital, San Jose, it is a bit of a drive, considering I can get basically anywhere within about 10, 15 minutes. And between here and San Francisco is actually 45 minutes. So 4 to 5, quite a number of round trips worth of like going somewhere else. But that's if there's no traffic, and there's usually construction plus traffic, plus it was middle of summer. It was other, everything else was going on, and parking. That city, someone needs to straighten out San Francisco. It is way too bendy, twisty, vertical hills and all this other stuff. Plus parking was a whole nother, don't get me started, like almost $40 just to some Hilton or something. I don't remember what it was, but I should have gone first thing and then maybe hung out, grab a coffee from beforehand, and then got to do the little mingle. By the time I got in, they already had the lights. Like I just caught the actual start of I didn't miss the actual show beginning in their little intro, pre-recorded intro, which you can see that they posted it. Awesome. But I was like, damn, I should have gone sooner.
No, it did look like a great event, and there was just a bunch of like extra guests that turned up and stuff that you would have known, right?
Yeah, I had no idea. I don't think anybody knew. What's the furthest you've gone for an Apple thing, for an Apple related
down
release?
To Battersea in London for the opening of that store.
How far is that from?
So
I don't know where you
are. A good couple of hours of travel. So I drove down to North London. Yeah, a couple of hours.
And for an iPhone, for one more time, what was it?
It was the Apple Store opening in Battersea.
Grand
Battersea
opening.
Power Station. Yeah, it was the first day for the store. So I drove down to North London, jumped on the tube.
Wow.
And then, but not only was it me, I'd also taken my Macintosh with me. So I'd got my.
So you did mind the gap.
91. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great.
But I took this boy with me with the M1 inside and the iPad display, and I think I was third into the store. So all of the Apple Store staff were just like going crazy through the windows because they could see that I'd brought this, and it was just after the guy had taken the one to India when Tim Cook had been like, it's crazy, there's an original Macintosh. And then I was like, oh yeah, and it's got an M1, it's running Sonoma. This is before Sonoma came out, it was on the betas. What? And they were like, plug it in, please. And then everyone's just taking pictures with it. It was really cool.
Such exciting stuff. Yeah. So you can relate of like how hectic it, even when it's like watching the pre-recorded live streams by yourself. I just it comes to, I'm like, snap.
What's next?
So
What's next?
Yeah, what's going
And to be
on?
fair,
No
the
way!
last time, the last one that we did was Scary Fast, which I did with Sigmund for the live streams before and after. But for Dub Dub that year, that was when we got. That was when we got 15-inch MacBook Airs. We got M2, like Ultra Studios, and the Mac Pro got released.
The iPad landscape camera, I think, was that year. Plus the dongle USB dongle pencil.
Yeah, there was that didn't come until a bit later in the year. The pencil.
Oh, was that iPhone? Okay.
USB. No, it was just a random like Tuesday, and they were like, "Oh yeah, and there's a new Apple Pencil," and everyone went, "What? What's going on? Why are you dropping this?"
They distracted us from something.
All the features.
They got away with something that week. That was their look at this. Look at this instead.
Yeah.
It worked.
The US Justice Department were ready to sue them that week. And then they were like, "Oh, we need to upgrade our Apple Pencils." So I guess we could move on to the actual bit of news that happened today.
Oh, the fun's over.
We got a little bit of a heads up for yesterday. I think there was a couple of outlets reporting that this was going to happen today. But so Apple's getting sued by the US government. It's an antitrust lawsuit, which appears to be basically made up in many ways, and none of their arguments made any sense. But it's the big kind of key takeaways: suppressing mobile cloud streaming services, so things like Xbox Cloud, because Apple hasn't allowed like a single app with multiple games in it. Excluding cross-platform messaging apps, so basically the idea that iMessage is their thing, so they apparently must share it with everyone.
Sharing is not caring.
Exactly. Diminishing the functionality of non-Apple smartwatches because they're not as good as Apple Watch. So apparently it was Apple that made them bad. And limiting third-party digital wallets, which I think that one we could probably agree is probably a bit of an easier one for them to fix, but it seems
they still don't have to.
It's been about security. Yeah, why not?
They still shouldn't have to.
They built it.
I mean, this has come up before. It's the same. The same. What was it last time? It still comes back to the root. It's who they are. It's who they've always been. It's not like out of nowhere. Oh, all of a sudden the iPhone is a closed system. Like hey, open it back up. Share. I never got that.
It's always been this way, and it's built that way because that's the way that people wanted it.
If you can't beat them, keep trying to beat them, and keep this whole other. It's weird. It's like if you can't do. There's right ways and wrong ways to do business. Legal or otherwise. Not advocating, but just for you can't. If your product sucks, do something about it. If your system sucks, if your service sucks, don't.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely an issue here, which is that the DOJ is basically saying Apple sells a lot of phones, therefore everyone else should be able to use iMessage. I would counter that by saying Android sells quite a lot of phones, therefore Apple should be able to get that kind of smart remove feature that Google put into their cameras.
No, you have to buy the Pixel, whatever newest thing to get that software cloud-based feature. Actually, iCaveDave.
And that's
you have to get the.
This is my problem.
What was the thing that it was software locking hardware or hardware locking software? Right? Isn't it the same? They do the same thing. It's all good. Now this Google feature is available on this non-Google device. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, all of Samsung's recent AI features that they announced as being these great reasons to buy a Samsung phone are all Google's features that are then coming now to Pixels and everything else.
And they can put them on anything and anywhere. I mean, they already have a partnership with Apple. They've had a even Samsung. Samsung and Apple and Google are all in cahoots, the good kind.
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell is it?
It's just very strange. And
a cash grab?
One of the arguments was like, between Apple and Samsung, they own 90% of the premium phone market. It's like,
because they're good at what they do.
The opposite of a monopoly.
Yeah.
That's when you're adding up two competitors.
I've always
said they're doing quite well between them.
My favorite thing about Android is that you can't claim that Apple is a monopoly in that sense. As they do. They're Pepsi.
Yeah, and
is Pepsi okay? Well, that was their slogan for the longest time, right? Pepsi okay? Well, there's this Android you can do. Nothing against them. Again, I loved the one I had. That was way back when. But even for the time, I was like, whoa, this is Android? Oh, you guys are making a lot of noise about nothing. This is awesome. Oh, T-Mobile Sidekick 2 was my first one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think definitely by Europe, and it looks like now America, trying to open up the iOS system to put in
plus money for them
versus the closed one. That's basically making both systems the same, which is taking away choice. Because at the moment we have the choice of going for the closed, safer system versus going for the open, a little bit more cowboy.
They say, Wild West. Yeah, they say, walled garden. I mean, what's wrong with the gated community? Yeah. With good landscaping, there are benefits to that.
Mm-hmm.
We might need to gate every community over here. One of the other things for Android, I lost the thought. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say things like Meta were trying to argue that they were going to be the open side of VR and AR.
And what was your source on that?
More closed.
What was your source? Their CEO, who stands directly to profit from exactly that statement, such as that. Yeah. Okay.
And I do feel like he would understand that his platform is actually very, 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 very closed.
Yeah.
Like, it's not Android. It's not put on whatever stuff you want there.
Meanwhile, they want all of our lives, i.e. data, wide open for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Android, it was if you can't beat them, get them to join you, then beat. It's basically their game. Come play our game. We're better at it. Follow our rules. It's have you ever played you have. You're a father, right? You've played never play games with a kid, because as soon as you beat them, they'll change the rules, right? They're like, no, you can't do that. No, you didn't do it. It's like, well, I tag your no, I was touching this. I was like, damn. But that wasn't agreed upon before.
Battles in our house.
They keep moving goalposts, these smart kids. Yeah. No, mine too.
There's so many rules about when you're not allowed to shoot them, i.e. when you're about to shoot them.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, you didn't. Damn. Yeah, but I mean, don't play if you don't. I don't get it. I don't know what. So what's your advice to those companies or regulatory bodies, or who? So who is at fault? We know what's in it for them, because as the EU also would get a chunk, and any business that they can keep in or bring in, they get a cut. So you would think that would be enough for them. Don't get me started on double, triple, and quadruple taxation, whatever they call it. You get, if you make money, they tax you on it. If you find money on the street, you're supposed to report it. If you buy something, there's a sales tax on that thing. And the guy that you bought the thing from, also now that money that you just paid taxes on, is getting taxed again, because that now is the other guy. Yeah. So it's one of those things that if it changes pockets, the more money moving, the more they get to take a piece.
So what confuses me the most about it is that America is probably one of the more patriotic countries in the world.
Of course.
Loves made in America, loves American brands, and yet the government is going after basically the biggest tech company, who happen to be American, and saying, "Oh, you're not really being fair on that company from Korea, or that company from Japan."
Right.
It just seems very strange that that's the route they're going down, even if that is their genuine belief. In terms of, I don't know. Well,
money would make me believe too.
Sorry?
Money would make me believe too.
Yeah. I mean, Donald Trump was also like hugely like fighting against Apple, and the Republicans are supposed to be the very patriotic party, the very rah-rah America party.
Patrioticer,
Yeah, without going into all the other stuff that
just for the pure,
they're quite protectionist.
Love this country, love my fellow countrymen.
Yeah.
You here with me, we have each other's backs. You look over, and they say in battle, you screw your country, screw the flag, fight for the guy next to you, right? Mm-hmm. The guy you're here literally with me. I see you every day. We're on the same commute. We go to the same stores and clothes, and we have to take care of each other. And then it does. I mean, lobbying, another thing with career politicians, that never was supposed to be a career. You go you go to the summit, you look over the rules, guidelines, come into agreement, come back to your farm, ranch, factory, whatever it is that you did, so we can continue making this money, dollar bill via tangible goods and services.
And I believe all of this is covered in Hamilton, which
Yep. Yeah.
kind of brings us full circle for the conversation anyway.
Don't you love a full circle?
Which is good.
Yeah. they go like this. Yeah. Oh, it's great.
There's an
it's
awful lot
crazy.
of, yeah, like
It's all
as
connected.
much as you would hope that there would be quite a lot of politics in Hamilton. It actually covers quite a bit. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Quite
no, it's
educational.
so. I'm gonna watch it again. Yeah, it's insane. And then, dude, I don't know. That's so strange. Like even for, have you noticed how many times? And I think there was even another, just for the current administration that we're in. How many times they've had the chance to acknowledge or mention Tesla? We just said one of the most American. And again, what's more American than outsourcing or importing stuff, right? Everyone does it. We get parts from here, parts from there, parts from all this good stuff. But for them, still like not 100% American made, but the most American made of this. And then they still get the leaders in EV, the leaders and just these things, and they get shunned or they don't exist in the world of when they have, I think the most recent was there's like 4 EVs on a stage with Biden, and not one of them is a Tesla. And then even before, I believe they made like a cake or something a year or a couple years ago, and the cake had gas station pumps.
Oh, nice.
On it. You don't remember that one?
That was the lobbyists. They were like, no, that we still need the gas there. That's going to be important.
I mean, we
for
still
Shell
use it. It has its place. It has its use. It's more like at least you and I, again, one nerd to another, we know the benefits and the very basically, man, yeah, we need, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say, like, I haven't looked into it with Tesla as deeply, but I'm very closely following the SpaceX stuff, and one of the big ways that they brought down the costs is that they make as much of the stuff in-house as they can.
Absolutely.
And they buy a lot of off-the-shelf components that are not necessarily rated for aerospace, but they can test them and make sure that they're reliable enough, regardless if it's an off-the-shelf for
we start
auto.
there. Yeah. We start there. Run. I think trials. They call it. There's like an NPI, new part introduction. We run trials, gather the data, and if we need to, we go exactly right straight back to our manufacturers, and we let them. Hey, here's what happened. Here's our test. Here's what. Can you please take a look at this? Do one of these, and then get rid of this or what? That was one of the beautiful things that I love, and not to speak ill of them, my former company, is you would think which there shouldn't be, but there's more than one Tesla. There's the one that there's like the public facing one. Then there's the, like, for example, and thousands and thousands of people work just at the Fremont factory. And I've had the personal pleasure of working with at least 100 of them. And that's not hyperbole. There's 10 people on my crew, and we have an identical line next to us. So that's 20 right there. I've worked in one C, D, A, plus volunteering for overtime and a handful of others. Again, they have the same setup. So that plus over 2 shifts when I was working. So over 3,000 hours in 13 months, at least 100 people that I actually was shoulder to shoulder with, putting these cars together or putting the brakes together, performance brakes and axles and all this stuff, and seeing how that goes. And then I guess with any company, you have the people that are actually there, and then like, hey, by the way, corporate wants us, or HR, or let's try to, let's get these numbers up. There's the number of people, right? Which, again, for metrics, it's like, yeah, we want to monitor and log how we're doing, are we going the right direction, are we hitting this and that? But there's like that one separate where it's like, oh yeah, just change. Here's the numbers, make the numbers look like this. Okay, bye. And then it's a sort of what's that word? Like not out of touch, but there's 2 separate departments, and it's not always as, and again, not just Tesla, Amazon similar. Even when I was doing construction, you would work with like a grizzled veteran, and it's like, do it this way has always worked, or another guy, or they're just, breaking your chops, busting your chops, or it's interesting. Yeah. It's like, that's not very, for a company whose literal mission statement has the word accelerate in it, there's a lot of yellow and red tape. You would be surprised. It's not very acceleratory. I don't know if those are words. I made those words up.
I like them. I like them both.
Like, yeah, they're like, no, don't do that. I'm like, that's not very, like, oh no, we have to get permission. What do you mean? Like, I know. So what the mission statement is? What, just pretty words? Like, I don't know. And there is people that are like, oh, I just work here. Like, not in a bad way. Like, even if they did the minimum, the standards are so high that they already calculated for that. They're already, and it gets made fun of, like, oh, it's within spec. And it's like, well, you figure your car gets put to assembly line, maybe 2 minutes, per process, 2 or 3 minutes. But so if you were to overlay like a car, like animation Post-it, if you draw a different picture on a Post-it and you can look at each of the Post-its individually to see the next frame and the next frame, your entire car was probably put together within that 2-minute window at different points in time over, different sections. But for what they're able to achieve in the end result in that, with however very small issues, panel gaps, this or that, and all these other things, which you don't see. I mean, maybe not with Cybertruck, but just it's amazing. Me going in there was kid in a candy store. My first, when they give you a little tour when you're full, I was like, this is incredible. They have robots in here doing, like, what? I can get used to this. So
yeah, we've got a couple of car manufacturers in our city. So we've got Jaguar Land Rover is right here, and then we used to have MG, which is now a Chinese brand. MG, part of Rover. It used to be like the performance mark for Rover cars.
Okay.
But yeah, there's one of the Chinese manufacturers has now bought the rights to use it, so they're doing all electrics pretty much.
See if I say it right. What's Peugeot?
Peugeot, yeah.
Did I say it right? Yeah.
Pretty good.
Without, thank you.
And then there's Renault.
Because it's spelled like Peugeot, right?
Peugeot, yeah.
Peugeot, yeah. So what do they do? Sedans?
So they do a bit of everything, to be honest. Okay. So they do like hatchbacks, which is
we love those. Hell yeah.
Yeah. What do you call them, hatchbacks there?
Yeah. We have a catch. So for example, the Model Y which was what I have, Model Y Performance hatchback. That thing is hell yeah. And even before I had it, I had a actually imported from the Europe market. So the 2017 and 2018, I had a nitrous blue Ford Focus RS Rally Sport. Okay. That bright metallic quad coat. It was it's German built. So if you actually look at the VIN, started with the W, just like my Mercedes does.
Gotcha.
Not a new Mercedes, but it's old, it's crappy. I still have it, but I didn't know that
I've had a Focus in the past, but it wasn't one of those ones.
Yeah, 2017 and 2018, I did the race red, and that was the last that was the discontinued one. There were whispers that they were gonna maybe make it half hybrid, if not full electric, because of how strict the emission standards were. That even with the 2.3 liter EcoBoost turbocharged efficient, it wasn't worth it. It got scrapped. I haven't heard anything since.
Oh, the emission standards that Volkswagen ignored.
Was that them? No. Well, I mean, wait. Were they involved with Ford? No, right?
Volkswagen Group were the ones that had
But
the special mode that detected when they were on a test.
But because that's a whole nother
performance.
That's why Electrify America sucks, right? Is that the one that sucks? That's their
could be. That
was their court mandated. I think it's that one, the court mandated one. So they had to do it. They're being forced to do it. So they don't give a shit for how well not taken care of at all the entire charging infrastructure is. That's supposedly, hey, future, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Now the MGs are the ones that I'm kind of interested in at the minute. It's as I say, it is a Chinese built electric car, but they do an MG X Power, which has got about 500 and some horsepower in a little hatchback.
Whoa!
It's the same powertrain as the Audi e-tron and the Porsche Taycan, I think.
Oh damn, those are. Oh yeah, okay.
But wow, but this car costs 36 grand.
What's that in American?
No, UK. But pretty close. Same.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's fast. It's really fast.
Which Focus did you have? Was it a hatchback too? Your Focus?
Yeah, it was a hatch. It was a 3-door hatch.
That was okay. Mine was 5-door.
Older one.
Mine was the Focus RS that I had both years. It was something. It was the 4 with the full fifth door that went up. That thing wasn't automatic, but it didn't need to be. It was with the tilting seats and everything. I felt at the time I was still doing DJ gigs, so I was able to put the Bose L1 and F1 line array system and the L1 Pro system in there too. So I gotta get them again. Those were awesome speakers. You're in the. For those who don't know, you also were in the entertainment showbiz bartending competitor? You competed?
A little bit, yeah. Throw some bottles around like my friends in Vegas. Yeah, did okay in the UK scene.
Yeah,
like
sure,
way back
dude.
in the day.
See, I knew you were cool.
Yeah, sort of once.
You're multifaceted. Some would say like an onion. You've got
now moving on to a little bit of stand up and all that kind of stuff, which is good fun.
That's good. Yeah,
that's why I went with this mic. It's the standard. This is the stand up comedians.
I can't.
Classic mic.
Sure. Hold on. I think sure. Don't tell me. No, I'm thinking when the second you say
Sure.
it. I know. But the model. The second you
SM58.
say it. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
How embarrassing of myself. It was right there. I was like, the second he says it, I'm gonna know which one it is.
But yeah,
man.
it's like for the money, this thing is absolutely rock solid.
Dude,
it's like $100.
And that's part of value for efficiency too. Did you see the new SM7B that they noticed a lot of people were adding a preamp to it?
Mm-hmm.
If you remember mine, it looked like a little like a. I don't know if it was. I think Sam Cole had like a shotgun shell looking. It was like a red, and then mine, I believe I went with black, but they integrated it, so it has, I believe now the Shure SM7B. They added a letter or a number.
Yeah, it's like a.
It looks
BX
nice
or something.
It looks so good. Oh man! And there's a new Rodecaster Pro, which good because I cannot for the life of me. I packed up my pod gear in like a backpack, utility backpack. Something. I don't know where it is because we were shuffling stuff around here. You know, we have so many. We were in construction, so it's like our house is always like half built over here, half being remodeled, where there's a little everything moving around. So I have misplaced my podcast setup. My mic stand, my mic arm, the Shure SM7, not the new one, wink wink, and not the new one, Rodecaster Pro, not the new one.
Yeah.
So if I can't find it, I may have to visit a Best Buy or something.
I went and spent my money on a Scarlett Vocaster 1.
I know the brand.
Need one input, and it's great. It's
no,
so
they're good.
easy to use. And
that's the one with the
$69.
Is that the one with the huge knob on it on the front?
Yeah, two knobs. So one for the headphones, one for the mic.
But it's like bigger than normal knob, right? That's the.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that one for sure.
They're like that. Size. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty chunky.
Man. We got to go look at our gear again. Freaking.
Yeah.
Do you guys have is Best Buy only US? Do you guys have Best Buy or Best Buy equivalent?
I guess the nearest we would have to Best Buy would be. Are they more tech focused or are they just a bit of everything?
Yeah, I mean appliances. So they have home theater with Magnolia. They have computer games. They have build your own stuff. I think they do like luggage and some travel stuff. But one whole other side would be like fridges.
Probably be closest to like Curry's
everything in a
PC
kitchen.
World.
Okay. All right. Well, I was gonna say there's some. And maybe it has something to do with like loss. What do they call it? Basically shrink in retail when stuff goes missing, sticky fingers, shoplifters
Shrinkage,
and stuff around.
Yeah.
Around here, shrinkage over here. There are some where they basically converted. I saw it when it was being remodeled. It's almost like they want you just to like order on the app or curbside, or because they had fake walls for a while to like a quarter of the size of a Best Buy, and then to keep everything else in the back for like a warehouse, kind of like a Costco. But if you only were allowed as a customer. So imagine Costco, but you can only go into the food court, and then you tell them what you want, and then they go get it, and then they bring it to you. Sort of.
We have that. It's called Argos, and you basically have like a catalog. So it's like online shopping, but you have like a desk at the front, and then they have a warehouse behind.
Yeah.
And you order by the code, and now like you basically order on an app. But you used to have to write the code down on a little slip
I don't know
of
if I
paper,
like
and you
that.
went and paid, and then
Do you like that?
bring it out for you. No, it's horrible.
I mean, for back when that was a thing, that's service, right? Like a concierge. What comes to mind is concierge. But for them, after you're gonna walk in, and it took me a little bit. I didn't notice right away, but you know the basically security desk to check your receipt or whatever when you're leaving. They pivoted it, polished it up, and made it now a welcome in desk. What can I? How many? Whoa, hey, hi, hello. hi, what can I, smiley face.
Yeah.
And then for me, usually when I don't go to these places, I have gone just to wander, but I usually have something in my head, or like I already know what I want, or that was like my second, third Target, Walmart, or Best Buy that I already visited, just to kind of be, they didn't have it. Let me go see. Let me give myself something to do today. I'll go check the other one. Forget the app or forget checking the inventory because I want to go in and then, oh yeah, no, what do you want? Oh, let's go. Oh yeah, over here. Or it's like, yeah, which one is it? Let me see. Yeah, over here. This guy, he would like the pose, something, whatever. Can you go ahead and bring one up to the front? And it's like, I know where they are. And it's like, that's we'll bring it up to the front. And it's like, okay, I don't know if I like that now after the fact, and especially when you started seeing like, I get it. I know what's going on here.
Yeah,
ruining it for everybody. Plus prices are going. That's another thing too. It's like, well, we got to make up for that. We're not gonna. Companies never take a loss. Let's give it to our valued customers. Yeah. Oh man.
This has been fun, man. I think we're going to wrap it up just because we've got just past the hour mark, which is always good. Where can people find you on the internet? Where can they come and find you and what you're up to?
Well, I'm pretty active on, can I still call it Twitter? Is that a thing? You guys remember Twitter?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, Twitter, X.
Then people will know what you mean.
At Lifeguard DJ. And cool story there is like, actually, short story. I used to lifeguard and then I used to DJ. So that was like, hey, I'll do that. I almost did construction lifeguard DJ, but that's a lot.
Yeah, it checks out, though. It all makes sense.
Just Marc Sequence, just for, that was one of my early DJ names, producer names, because on a... if you look like FL Studio or any like beat making sort of thing, there's a piece called a step sequencer, which is 4, 8, 16 pads. And you assign a sound to each one, and it'll just repeat the pattern, or whatever it is. And I was like, hey, I kind of like how there's a cue in there. I was like, let's do Marc Sequence. I like that. So there it is.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you.
You're welcome
everyone.
so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Let me know in the comments, who do you want on the next show? What are we going to do? Tell me.
Woo!
A complete revolution. We figured out a way. We machine all of the surfaces to create something that's genuinely new. You have to start again. Unapologetically plastic. Aluminium.
Cool. Let's go. Right, I'm going to do a clap just to make sure. Not that I do anything with that afterwards, because that seems like a lot of work.